And she's like, oh, good. I was like, I think about it.
Join us. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la.
Oh, it has turned into such a lovely day and a lovely evening, and it is wonderful to be here to celebrate Shabbat with you and with all of you on Zoom as well, or on, not on Zoom, on Facebook Live or YouTube. We have, we are approaching Shabbat, Rosh Hashanah very, very quickly. And we are just over a week away. This is our second to last Shabbat of the year. And so we are on our journey towards a new beginning, and hopefully also a new sense of who we are and what possibilities there are to come. And so I'd like to invite up, I'm going to spontaneously invite the Simon family. I know you're going to come up in November, I think, at some point, but you can bring your books, yes, to light our Shabbat candles.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generation of Israel who have kindled the light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Somebody else do it. We've never done that.
Very good.
Let's see.
You don't have to be close to it. You can pull back.
I need a schooling with this. You and your technology.
I know. And we just tested this. Peg just tested it.
Anybody have a match?
Right. We joined together.
You did it. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us in mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen.
Thank you for asking.
Thank you. Shabbat shalom.
We turn now to page 10 and sing the words Ma Yafeh Hayom, how wonderful, how beautiful today is. Shabbat Shalom.
Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
On the facing page at the very bottom, Ele Chamda Libi, God is my heart's desire, appear, do not hide. Actually parallels some of the text in Psalm 27, which is the one of the psalms for this penitential season, where we ask God not to hide from us.
Ele Chamda Libi, Ele Chamda Libi, Ele Chamda Libi, Ele Chamda Libi. That's the first part. Sing it with us. Ele Chamda Libi, Ele Chamda Libi, Ele Chamda Libi. Ele Chamda Libi, 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 Ele Chamda Libi. Chamda Libi, Ele 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 Chamda Libi.
As we offer joyous song, we continue with Lecha Dodi on page 20 and 21, welcoming in the Sabbath bride.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם ניסוחך, סוף מעשה במחשבה תהילה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בלב, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Before you take your seats, I'd like to invite you to welcome and greet each other just as we've greeted the Sabbath bride. Say hello to someone who's near you. Say hello to someone on on Facebook or YouTube. We continue on page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ויעמד דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייך נביום אחד, ובחיי דרכו בית ישראל. בגאלה, בגאלה, ובזמן קריב אמרו.
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם עולם ימיה.
Yitbarach.
יתברך וישתבח, ויפאר וירומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה.
Brichu.
בריחו לאלה מן כה ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן מעמה ואמרו.
Amen. Please rise again, body or spirit, for Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
Yai lai lai, ya la lai lai lai, yai la lai lai la lai lai, oh yai lai lai, ya la lai lai lai, yai la lai lai la lai lai, yai lai 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 la lai, yai lai 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 la lai, yai lai lai la lai lai. Ay ay dai 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 bye 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 ay dai 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 dai. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch
Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Yai lai lai, ya la lai lai lai, yai la lai lai la lai lai. Oh yai lai lai, ya lai lai lai, yai la lai lai la lai.
Page 31, we join together. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravi. Page 32.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha havta, Amcha havta. Torah u'mitzvot, Hukim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadeta. Alkein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, uvkumenu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nizmach b'divrei Toratcha, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. Page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We sing a song of freedom, Mi Chamocha, on page 40.
Ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba bim bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya la 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 la, ya ba bim bam, ya la 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 la, ya ba bim bam. Mihi kamocha v'halim Adonai, mihi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, norati lo oseh melech, norati lo oseh melech, malechutecha ra'ovanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai lo le'olam va'ed. Hey, ya ba bim bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba bim bim bam, ya ba bim bam, lai 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 lai, ya ba bim bam, lai 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 lai, ya ba bim bam. ונאמר כי יפד אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
When we approach the High Holy Days, we start to think about just how much each of our actions affect not just us, not just the people we meet, but our whole community. And on pages 43 and 42, as we sing these words, we ask not only for God to spread God's shelter of peace over us, but also to remind us of how our actions, our love, our understanding, our friendship, our ability to bring peace into the world affect and bring a shelter of peace to all of us in our community.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu.
Eloheinu
Hashkivenu,
Shalom.
Hashkivenu,
And understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Baruch atah Adonai hapores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue with Vishamru on page 44.
Shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
As we celebrate Shabbat, we turn to our Amidah, sanctifying God's name and celebrating Shabbat, page 46. Please rise and bow to your spirit.
Adonai sifhatai tiftach ufi yagid teilatecha Adonai open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu ve'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el, Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer, U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Vezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechaye Hakol Atah Rav Lehoshia Morid Hatal מחכה לחיים בחסד, בחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue with our private prayers using the words on the page or the words in our hearts. If you are using the text that is in our Siddur, I invite you to continue through page 63. You may be seated when you've finished with your prayers.
Bottom of page 62, Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav, uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav, uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav, uyaseh Shalom aleinu. יעשה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו והכל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
With prayers of peace in our minds, we think of those who are in our hearts, who are in need of healing, whether that is healing of mind, healing of body, healing of spirit. As my eyes meet yours, I invite you to share the names of those that you are thinking of on this Shabbat, and also encourage you to think about how in the coming week you can offer them not just your prayers, but your support as well. On this Shabbat, we think of
I'm thinking of those in Ukraine, and I'm thinking of the Pacific Northwest firefighters this evening.
Jonah Hart. Mishaberach can be found on page 253.
Mishaberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
And a few moments to share some good news, some excitement from the past week. You entered the sunflower contest. Awesome.
Where was it? Wonderful. Where do we look for you? All right.
You came to shul, to synagogue.
Yay.
Awesome.
Welcome back.
Yuval is very excited about the airplane flying overhead. Stacey? Nice. Recovering from surgery is awesome. Zeb? Yes. Amazing. The settlement was a success. Awesome.
That's great.
Bert, did you have your hand up? Great. Bunny is doing better. We seem to have avoided a rail strike. Did I see another hand over here? Yeah, Joel.
We had a 3-day scare with our dog because we thought that she had eaten some grapes, which it turns out is a very bad thing. But she's okay. So after the big blood test, everything is good.
Yum Yum is okay. Maddie. Maddie's kids are back in school, grandkids are back in school, and my mom is in town.
Yay!
And I have to say, it has been really cool to see how excited Yuval gets every time he sees her. It's been really sweet. The first time he saw her, he was just so stunned by her presence. He got up in slow motion and walked over to her at the door. It was really sweet.
Welcome.
So, I've been reading different passages to you from this book, Preparing Your Heart for the High Holy Days. And the one from a couple days ago, I guess it would have been read yesterday, reminded me of this week's Parsha. I don't know if they were intentional about making sure that there was at least one that connected to the weekly Parsha, but it did connect to this week's Parsha, which talks about blessings and curses. And by talks about blessings and curses, I really mean that half of the Israelites get up onto one mountain and the other half of the Israelites get up onto the other mountain, and they sort of shout these blessings and curses at each other. And most of them there are a handful of blessings that are really beautiful, and then an extensive number of curses that are really harsh and terrifying. And so there's always a lot of discussion about what it sort of means that there are this many blessings and this many curses, and why God would choose to engage with us or sort of threaten us in that way. Would the people really respond more to that sense of fear than to the promise? And I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks this way, but one of the things that I have noticed in my work and in my life is that whether or not God actually causes the blessings or the curses to befall us, we certainly are the ones who cause them to befall us. Maybe not quite the ultra disgusting parents having to eat their children because there is nothing else to eat, but certainly the sort of social collapse. Yeah, I said it was pretty gross. But certainly the sort of social dysfunction and collapse that can come when we don't interact well with each other and we don't treat each other with the right sort of dignity and respect that each of us is due just by virtue of being human. And that much of that also distances us from God. And so I mentioned earlier, as we were about to sing Elech Hamda Libi, that Elech Hamda Libi, God is my heart's desire, appear, do not hide, reflects some of the language that is in Psalm 27. Verse 9 of the psalm is, hide not your face from me. Do not put off your servant in anger. You are my help. Forsake me not, nor abandon me, O God. You are the one who delivers me. And so the authors, Rabbi Rachel Shabbat Beit Halachmi and Rabbi Kari Olitsky, write this: some believe that searching for God is like playing hide and seek. If this is so, why might God be hiding from us? What have we done to distance God's presence from us? Have we stolen, committed murder? No, most of us are not guilty of such terrible crimes. Instead, it's the little transgressions, those so woven into the fabric of our lives that we often fail to recognize them, that have concealed God from us. These missteps that start out small accumulate over time to become much larger than ever we thought possible. And then it says, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel taught that the whole earth is full of ways to inquire of you. Even if you have given up seeking God, God still seeks you. I heard a story recently, this is a folktale story, that once there was a rich and cold-hearted person, proud as you can imagine. This person was as pompous as could be, arrogant and bold and callous. One day, a woman in rags approached him for help, but the man pushed her aside, telling her to leave his presence. And as she turned, she said, I am leaving you, but as I do, I put upon you the curse of blessings. Every day, you must say a new blessing, one you have never said before. On the day you do not say a new blessing, that is the day you will die. And then the woman in rags walked away, disappearing around a corner. Slightly shaken, this pompous man thought to himself, there is no such curse as the curse of blessing. I have nothing to worry about. But it was late in the afternoon and the sun was setting, and as the day started to end, remember in Jewish tradition the day ends with sunset, this pompous man felt his body growing cold and knew from the chill that his life was leaving him. In a panic, he uttered these words of blessing. You are blessed, God, who created such a beautiful sunset. And all at once, warmth and life flowed back into him. He realized, both with shock and a little relief, that the curse had been for real. The next morning, he did not delay. He woke with words of blessing. You are blessed that you, God, allowed me to wake up this morning. And he felt secure in his life for the entire day. The next morning, he blessed his ability to rise from his bed, and the day after that he could tie his shoes. Day after day, he found abilities that he could bless, that he could go to the bathroom, that he had teeth to brush, that each finger of his hand still worked, that he had toes on his feet and hair on his head. I know that not everyone can say that blessing. He blessed his clothes, every single garment. He blessed his house, the roof and floor, his furniture, every table and chair. At last he ran out of things to bless. So he began to bless his relationships. He blessed his family and friends, fellow workers, his employees. He blessed the mail person and the clerks. He was surprised to find that they appreciated the blessings. His words had power. They drew family and friends closer to him. Word went out that this man was a source of blessing. He was no longer known as a pompous and arrogant and callous man. Years passed, decades even, and the man had to go farther afield to find new sources of blessing. He blessed city councils, university buildings, scientists and their discoveries. As he traveled through the world, he became in awe of its balance and beauty and blessed that as well. The more he learned, the more he had to bless. His life was long, and he had the opportunity to learn in every field. He passed the age of 100, and most of his friends were long gone. His time was relegated to searching for the purpose in life and the one source from which all blessings flow. He had long since realized that he was not actually the source, but only the conduit. And even that realization was welcomed with a blessing that sustained him for yet another day. As he approached the age of 120, he considered that his life was long enough. Even the great prophets had not lived any longer. On his 120th birthday, he made a conscious decision to utter no new blessings and allow his life to come to an end. Still, he could recite old blessings, and throughout the day he reviewed them. All the blessings for his body and possessions, for relationships that spread throughout the world, for the awesome beauty and balance of creation, and for the deep resonance, the pulse of purpose that pervaded his very being. But no new blessing passed his lips. As the sun was setting, a chill progressed inward from his extremities. He did not resist it. In the twilight, a figure appeared, the woman in rags. "You!" the man exclaimed. "I have thought about you every single day for 100 years. I should have been kinder to you. Please, forgive me." "You don't understand," said the woman in rags. "You don't know who I am, do you? I am the angel who was sent 100 years ago to harvest your soul. But when I looked at you, all I saw was an empty vessel. There was nothing to harvest. So I put upon you the curse of blessings. And now look what you've become." The man grasped in an instant all that had happened and why. Overwhelmed, he said, "I feel blessed, dear God, that you have kept me alive and sustained me, so I could attain this moment of insight." "Now look what you've done," the woman in rags said in frustration. "A new blessing." Life flowed back into the man, and he and the woman in rags looked at each other, neither of them knowing quite what to do. The blessings that are written in the Torah, the curses that are written about in the Torah, they flow from us, not specifically from God. We are the conduits of the blessing and the curse, and it is up to us to ensure that we bring blessing, that our actions bring blessing, that our words bring blessing, rather than the curse. Shabbat Shalom. Okay, who is doing announcements today? Okay, Maddie, great.
I'm a little shorter than the rabbi, if you haven't noticed. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom to those at home and here. It takes a village to bring services to you. So thanks to Rabbi Gorbin and that wonderful sermon, and to Cantor Fine and our beautiful music, and to Debbie Japp for her accompaniment, to Sean Bertel, who's on security, to Jason Berkowitz and Jordan Harris, our tech team, for candlelighting, the Simon family. Our greeter is Bert Peters, and Randy Leeson has filled in as usher tonight, and to Erica for helping to set up chairs tonight. All of the upcoming events that I'm going to highlight some can be found in the Orders of Worship, the TBE website, and the Shabbat Shalom that just came out today. It usually comes out on Thursdays, as well as the monthly bulletin. So if you cannot find this information or do not receive the bulletin or the Shabbat Shalom, please contact the office through mail, email, or phone. Some event and activity highlights approaching. A Torah study and Shabbat services will be at 9 and 10 with multi-access tomorrow. A Slichot, a study and service, will also have multi-access tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Spiff It Up Day is coming back, and that's in person this Sunday. We're going to clean the temple for the High Holy Day services on Sunday from 12:30 to 3:30. So if you're interested in more information, contact Sylvia Fradkin or Janny Doctor. Reverse Tashli at Titlow Beach will be in person on October 2nd. That's a Sunday from 3 to 5, and you can read about that in the Shabbat Shalom. The Sisterhood Break the Fast, which will be in person coming back this year, will be Wednesday, October 5th, following the concluding service on Yom Kippur. As far as High Holy Day schedule, please go to the High Holy Day page on the website for any details. If you need to get your non-member pass, check the schedule or submit names for the Book of Remembrance. You can all find that in one place. In addition, there are many, many October dates to save with registration deadlines as well as opportunities. As always, if you need help or are willing to help those in need, please contact the Temple Bethel clergy, staff, or leadership. Please stay healthy and safe. Shabbat Shalom.
We continue with Aleinu and our concluding prayers, page 282. Please rise and body your spirit.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה. שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Our thoughts turn to those who have died in recent days and weeks. We think especially of Norman Simon, the husband of Barbara and the brother of Herb, Mark Allen Peterson, the father of Aaron, and Norma Jean Hewitt, the grandmother of Stacy Van Wagner. We also think of those who have, and to them we say, Hamakom yenechem etchem betoch shar avlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. We also think of those who died at this time in years past: Sydney Aqua, Rivka Leah Ellen, Rachel Friedman, Deborah Goldberg, Sydney Gordon, Carl Hagman, Frank Robinson Lacey, Emma Lehman, Mike Martin, Doris Mason, Blanca Montalvo, Adolfo Nathan, Dennis H. Niebuhr, Regina Flugelbeil, David Somerville, Bernard Winter, and Jeff Wolfson. As we think of them, we say Zichronam Livracha, may their memories continue to be a blessing. The words of the mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach yurteh v'yamlich malchuteh, B'chaye chon u'vyome chon u'vchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala u'bizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mivrach le'olam u'almei amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechmata, damiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehe shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru
Amen.
May the one who creates peace on high bring peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, as together we say, Amen. For our concluding prayer song this evening, we will sing words from Psalm 27, Achat Sha'alti. Those can be found on page 358.
Achat sha'alti meit Adonai ot avakesh. Achat sha'alti meit Adonai ot avakesh. Shivti beveit Adonai kol yemei chayai. Lachazor b'noam b'noam Adonai ulevaker b'heichalo. Lachazor b'noam b'noam Adonai ulevaker b'heichalo. Achat sha'alti meit Adonai ot avakesh. Achat sha'alti meit Adonai ot avakesh. Shivti b'beit Adonai kol yemei chayai. Lachazot b'noam b'noam Adonai ulevaker b'heichalo. Lachazot b'noam b'noam Adonai ulevaker b'heichalo. Lai 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 ya la lai 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 ya la lai lai ya la lai ya la. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Maddie, can I have you run into the kitchen and get the tray of juice, please? Because I'd like to invite up all of our kiddos.
Come on up.
Come on up.
Awesome. We're going to be on
Schiffer
page
for a little bit longer.
Yes, we're going to be on page 5, and then the motzi will be on page 302.
Even the geese want some. I only have the challah. Okay. We're working on it. But why don't the three of you come over here, front and center, so that people online can see you as well, and we can. And while we're waiting, we can start our blessings.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzav banu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת לחיים. Just in time. There you go. Thank you. Here, have some juice. Okay, got some. Want a piece of challah? No? Yes? Okay. Okay.
Oh, great.
Come on, you can do it. Together, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Shabbat
Awesome.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
And Yasher Koach.
Yasher Koach.